welcome to my channel. Well, today I'm really excited to share with you my recent trip on the Quilters of the Caribbean, or Caribbean, whichever way you say it, trip with Stitchin Heaven, a quilting retreat at sea. I've talked about their quilting retreats before. I've been to their quilting retreats in Texas, and I've also been now on 2 of their cruises. So I was going to share today my entire trip with you guys. It's broken down into 4 parts. The first part is the port of Miami and sail away. The next part is ports at call. The next part after that is things to see and do on the ship. And the final part is the quilting. So if you don't want to see all of it, you can skip to the part that you want to see, but love for you to stick around and see everything. Everything that I talk about are things that I experienced. There may be things that other people experienced that I didn't see or I didn't do that you might hear about through other channels. Anytime, what I can say is when you go on a cruise, do your research. I did a lot of research before I went, and I will tell you that some of my thoughts about what I was going to be seeing or doing were a little bit different. So it was interesting to see what my research was versus what was actually happening. And I'll get to that more here in a minute. But the first part is the Port of Miami and sail away. That's a lot of fun. And we were not the first ship out, and there was about 11 ships leaving from Miami that day. There was Virgin and Norwegian and Carnival and, oh my gosh, I can't even think of some of the other ones, but lots of other ships besides ours. We were one of 2 Royal Caribbean ships, but there was multiple of other brands as well. We got to see a few of them floating in the ocean at nighttime, which was kind of neat. The pictures didn't turn out so well, so I didn't include those. They were really fuzzy because they were kind of far away, but it was kind of neat to kind of look out in this deep, dark ocean and see like lights. Like, oh, we're not alone in this big thing. But it was a lot of fun. So the sail away, my aunt went with me, my Aunt Anne. She's also a quilter, and I was really excited to be able to take her on this cruise with me. So you'll see pictures of her, and then of course you'll see pictures of Stitchin Heaven people. One of the other people that you'll see in some of my pictures is, her name's Krista. I met Krista on the previous cruise that I went to. She does a lot of things with Stitchin Heaven, a lot of retreats, and I met her on the cruise, and I've met her in other venues, so it was really nice to hang out with her and spend some time with her as well. So you'll see her in some of the pictures and some of the mayhem we got up to. So like I said, the first video, or the first little set, will be in Miami. Miami is a little bit of an overwhelming city if you've never been there. I've never been to such a busy cruise port before. I've been to other ports. I've never been to Miami. I've left out of Galveston. I've left out of Port Canaveral. And I've never been to Miami. And I've been to Miami, the city, but not for years and years, but never into the port. The port was crazy. The hotel that we stayed in the night before, the Hyatt Regency, was a great hotel, so I would recommend that. It's only a couple miles from the port, but it took us about an hour to get to Royal Caribbean's terminal, because that's how bad the traffic is. So what I can recommend is, if you're taking a cruise and say your call time to get on the ship is 11 or 11:30, I would leave pretty early. Ours was 11:30. Our Uber picked us up at 11, and so we were late for our call time. Okay, so maybe not an hour, maybe 45 minutes it took us, because we were there about 11:45. No problem, they let us get on anyway, no issues. But next time, which there will be a next time, and I'll talk about that in a minute, I'm definitely going to get to the port a little bit earlier. So next time, I'm actually leaving for the next quilting cruise in about 20 days. So I'm really excited about that. I have a lot of friends going on the next cruise. I didn't know as many people on this cruise that I'm going to feature today, but I know a lot more on the next one, so it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we're going to have a blast. I will take some video of that too and share it, so I'm excited to share that with you guys. This cruise, I think, was a little bit more low-key than the next one will be, just because there's a lot less quilters on this cruise. The next one has, I think, approximately 80 quilters. And of course, all the people that are on the cruise ship anyway. Symphony of the Seas, which is the cruise ship that we went on with Royal Caribbean, is their 4th or 5th, something like that, largest ship in the fleet. And with passengers and crew, it can hold 8,000 people. So even though it holds that many, it doesn't seem super crowded, but it's a lot of people. So from that standpoint, there was a lot, but from the quilter standpoint, there was a lot of quilters on this cruise. So the next one is pretty full, so I think it's going to be a little bit different of an atmosphere, but it'll be a lot of fun. So I'm really looking forward to that. And that one is the Patriot Cruise. This one is the Quilters of the Caribbean Cruise. So the ports of call for this ship were Coco Cay in the Bahamas, which is Royal Caribbean's private island. Loved it. Had a great time. There's all these excursions and upgrades you can do and pay for, but to be honest with you guys, you don't need to spend a penny. There's food all over the island that's included for free. There's beverages that are free. There's lots of, if you love the water, I'm an ocean kind of girl. If you guys don't know about all the blue, I like water, I like the ocean. If you like the water, or if you're just a beach person who likes to sit on the beach, there are beaches and pools and all these things for free. You don't need to pay extra money. Now, there are things you can do. There are excursions. There's a water park, which I'm too old for water parks. And there are private beaches that are kid-free and include food and alcohol, like upgraded things. But I didn't pay for any of those, and I had a great time. I loved the beaches there. That was probably one of my two favorite locations. The next place we went was Nassau, Bahamas. And I'll be honest with you, I had some pictures that will be in the video, but we didn't get out that much. We went into the port, and they've reconstructed a whole new port after the hurricane hit it a few years ago. It's a beautiful port, but the day we went, there was 5 or 6, I can't remember, big cruise ships there. There was one smaller one and 4 or 5 big ones. And so there was upwards of 30,000 people in the port. So it was crazy. And they do warn you not to go too far outside of the port, shopping enclosed area, for safety reasons at all of the places that you go to. And I did not have an excursion planned in Nassau, which I do next time. So I'm really excited about that. So we ventured out a little bit, a couple streets over, but not much. There is a picture of the straw market, the famous straw market, where you can go buy things from local crafters in my video, but that's about it. We didn't get off until a little bit later in the day. We got off, we walked around, saw some things, and then we got back on the ship. So we didn't spend a ton of time in Nassau, so I'm looking forward to spending more time there next time. The next port that we did after that was Jamaica. And I have to say, this was probably my least favorite port. But that being said, I, again, did not take any excursions. So I didn't see the island of Jamaica. I didn't go to any of the beaches, which that might change my opinion. But if you just go into the port, this is a port that they say, do not leave the port unless you have a planned excursion. You're not supposed to go beyond the fence and talk to anybody or get rides from anybody or anything like that. And my friend Krista did name this port Pushy Plaza because the people there selling things, and I know that tourism is important to them, to their economy, but they were pretty pushy, and that frustrated us to the point where we were like, okay, we need to get back on the ship. So to be honest with you, Jamaica was not my favorite port. It was not the best weather day, and that's not the fault of Jamaica, but it was overcast. It was really, really windy. We had hats on and our hats were blowing off. So it wasn't that exciting for us. It wasn't super clean. Sorry. So we weren't super excited about Jamaica. So we didn't stay that long out there. We went into the couple of the shops in the enclosed area, and then we got back on the ship, and we spent that day at the pool, which was actually amazing because everybody was out at excursions in the port. So the pool was relatively quiet. So that's one thing I can recommend, is that if you're not somebody who likes to get off ports, or maybe you're a little afraid to, those are good days to go to the pool. Because I will tell you, one of the days at sea that we were on deck, the pools were nuts, especially with kids and teenagers, and there was people everywhere, and there was no chairs to be had. So that's one thing I can recommend, is that if you are looking to have some pool time and you don't want to go to a port, those are the days to go in the pool, because it was really quiet. There was hardly any kids, and there was chairs everywhere. And we didn't get there till the middle of the day, because we went down to the port first in Jamaica. and there were still chairs everywhere. So I definitely recommend that. So the next stop after Jamaica was Haiti. And to be honest with you, this was the one that I wasn't super excited about because of all the things that are happening with Haiti right now in the news. But Royal Caribbean has a leased part of Haiti that is hundreds of miles away from the unrest that is unfortunate for that country, because let me tell you, Haiti shocked me. It shocked me because it was absolutely gorgeous. I loved Haiti. I didn't expect it to be so green and lush and mountainous, and the beaches were amazing. And you are inside an enclosed area that is completely safe, and it's peaceful and beautiful. And so I hope you take a look at that part in my video, because I absolutely loved Haiti. Plus we found some really cool things, which I forgot to put in the video there. There was a crafters market, and myself, my aunt, and my friend Krista all bought a little zipper pouch that was made by local quilters, made out of batik scraps, and we were happy to support them, and that money goes directly back to those women. So I was really excited to be able to support some local quilters. And I did buy some batik fabric in the Bahamas. I forgot to mention that earlier. They had 2 different kinds of batik fabric in one shop. That's all I found it in, is one shop. It was kind of pricey, I'm not going to lie, but they had fabric that was made to make sort of bathrobes, and then they had, or sarongs for the beach, and then they had some more thicker weight, like canvas almost, fabric for making like bags, and I got a piece of that. So I'm really excited. I'll share that in a future video. I'm going to make a bag out of that. We didn't purchase a whole lot of things on this trip, which was not bad for my pocketbook. But there were things in each port that you could. Like I said, Jamaica was a little pushy, so I don't know if I even want to get off there on the next trip, but I might, just to go with the folks that I'm with, and maybe I'll feel a little bit more comfortable because I'm in a bigger group. But like I said, I can't say enough good things about Haiti. That was amazing, and they did have a lot of stuff for sale, but they weren't super pushy, so I really appreciated that. Haiti, to me, like I said, was my favorite spot next to Coco Cay. They were probably my 2 favorite. It was just an explosion of color, music. The beaches were beautiful, and I just really had a great time. So don't let a future sailing, if you're interested in a quilting cruise with Stitchin Heaven that goes to Haiti, scare you off, because Haiti was amazing. So I just wanted to point that out, because I know that that was something that I was afraid of, and now not. So the third video, or the third part of my video, is things to do on the ship. There's so many things to do on the ship that if you didn't want to leave the ship, you won't be bored. There are bars and entertainment and shows and nightclubs and zip lining and rock wall climbing, pools. There is an adult only section called the solarium that has a pool, a small pool, not a swimming pool, just a kind of a soaking pool, and then 2 whirlpools that's 18 and over. So yay for that. It was kind of a nice place where you could escape without kids running around. And I'm not saying this because I don't like kids. Obviously I love kids, but when you're on an adult vacation, sometimes you just don't want to have to deal with kids. And so it was really nice to have that area. I highly recommend it. Plus there's 2 places in the solarium to kind of hang out over the ship, and you can get really nice views and really nice pictures. One of them is called King of the World. Yes, that's a real thing on the ship. So it's a really nice place to hang out, and there's tons of chairs, and there's even some loungers and things like that. You could sit and read a book, which a lot of people I saw doing. It's just a quieter place on the ship. You can get away from all the noise, because lots of the ship are noisy. There's water slides. There's a regular dark slide, which claustrophobic. You'll see in the video my aunt Ann and Krista both ziplined. They tried to get me to zipline, but I am terrified of heights, and I chickened out because I started turning green. And one of the other people we were with were like, "You don't have to do this. You look like you're going to be sick." And I was like, "Yeah, I feel like I'm going to be." So I did not zipline, but probably better for everybody below, because it was like 9 decks up or something, and I don't think they would have liked what would have come out of me. So anyway, the shows are great. We saw the ice show, which was wonderful. We saw the water show, which I've seen one on other ships, and they're all kind of the same. So that one was not my favorite, but it was a good show if you've never seen one before. We saw the Broadway style show, Hairspray. And it was Broadway quality, let me tell you. That was a good show. That's probably my favorite show. It was my favorite show on the ship. Then we saw the adult comedy show in the attic, and you definitely have to be okay with some R-rated stuff, but it was really funny. We really enjoyed it. We sat in on some karaoke. They've got a karaoke bar that a couple times a week they have adult karaoke. After a certain time, they've got kid karaoke, or family. I shouldn't say kid, it's family karaoke. Less racy. And other times there's a bar called Boleros that has Spanish or Latin music playing all the time. There's an English pub. There's another bar that's a piano bar that's kind of quieter. And then there's Dazzles, which I showed in my video. I couldn't play some of the music for you guys because it's copyrighted, but they were playing some big band swing music, which was really fun. And there's a different theme every night. They do an 80s night, a 70s night, the big band night. So that was a lot of fun. People dance. It's just fun to sit and watch if you're not a dancer. I really love music. So I enjoyed that as well. There's so much to do on the ship. You can't be bored. And we haven't even talked about the quilting yet. So that is my fourth segment, is all about the quilting. Like I said, I went on the Patriot cruise last year, and I'm going again in a few weeks' time here. Last year's cruise, I think we had about 80 people, so it was really crowded and really busy, but it made it a lot of fun because there's a lot of people to talk to and get to know, and there was always something going on, and somebody saying, oh, you want to come with me to this, or you want to go do that? And that was great. This time there weren't so many people. I think there was about 30 quilters, so it was a lot quieter. And I think there was a little confusion because initially we were told that on port days there wouldn't be any class, but then they ended up changing that a little bit. And so people had to kind of pick between if they had excursions and class. So that was a little confusing. And so I really never saw more than 8 or 10 people at one time in the quilting area, except for the first night for introductions. But I saw projects getting done. So obviously people were popping in at different times and sewing. I just didn't see a whole lot of them. They weren't there during what I would call like daytime hours. So I think people maybe popped in, did a little sewing, went out and did things, came back, popped in, did some more sewing. Like I said, we saw shows and things like that. So maybe they came in the evening too after dinner and did some sewing while we went and did some shows. So that could be also why I didn't see them a whole lot. But regardless, we had a great time. We met some great people. I didn't meet as many people as I met on the Patriot quilt cruise, which was a little bit disappointing. But again, like I said, it was a smaller one to begin with, and that's okay. Sometimes people like smaller. There's some people that wouldn't like 80 people on a cruise or 80 people in a quilting retreat. So you might like the smaller cruise. So there weren't as many people with Stitchin Heaven, so we didn't get to know as many quilters as I was hoping to, but we got to know some really great people. Melissa Corey, the one teacher, I got to know her pretty well. She's a sweetheart, and she brought a bunch of her family, her husband, and I believe her mother and her sister-in-law, or is her sister? I'm sorry, Melissa, I can't remember. But a bunch of her family came, and I met Brenda, the other instructor, but I didn't get to spend a lot of time with her because I didn't take her class. And she was in the other room opposite of me. And we didn't see her a whole lot. So I didn't get to know her very well, but she is the person who came up with triangulation. So if you like that product, you'll know who I'm talking about. But like I said, Melissa was great. Terry and Billy were the hosts this time, and Billy is always fabulous. I met Billy back on the Patriot cruise. She's been with Stitchin Heaven for a while as a traveler, and she's just now starting to step up as sort of helping on the cruises. So it was great to see her again. We just had a really good time, and like I said, met some great people, and you'll see some of their pictures in that quilting thing and at the dinner pictures and things like that, because when you go on this quilting cruise, they sit everybody together from Stitchin Heaven for dinner if you eat in the main dining room. So that's kind of nice too, because it gives you another opportunity to get to know other people. So to the fabulous ladies and gentlemen, it was wonderful to meet all of you, and I hope I get to see you again in the future. But I've been talking now for a while, so I will let you guys see the actual videos of the quilting cruise, and then I will talk to you at the end. Thank you. You're welcome.
Son entrée est là, nous autres, finalement, là, non, notre entrée était là. C'est quoi que t'as dit finalement, Colette? Tu m'as dit qu'ils s'en vont South Beach. Ils sont allés ici. Ils amènent au main train station. Oh, wait a minute. How's this working? We're going to the South Beach, and drop off, and then back to the main tram station. So if we
Well, today, as you can see, I'm not in my quilting studio. I'm in a brand new quilting studio, a temporary quilting studio on the Symphony of the Seas. I'm on a quilting cruise with Stitchin Heaven, as you can see from the banner behind me. It is the Quilters of the Caribbean cruise, and it began January 26th and it goes through February 2nd, and I'm really excited to be here. There's some great projects going on right inside the room over here, and I'll show you guys clips of those in a little bit later of a video. But today I thought I would open the goodie bag that we got and show you my quilt kit. So let's get started. Okay, well, once again on this cruise, as like the last cruise I was on for Stitchin Heaven, they were super generous and gave us this amazing goodie bag full of stuff. It is packed full, so I'm going to show you guys what's in it. But the very first thing I'm going to show you is, last time they gave us a t-shirt and we got another one this time. Last time it was navy and this time it was kind of an army green, so it was nice to have a different color, so that was in there. And then they give you this really nice bag that zips shut to put everything in. And so we got a wool pressing mat. So I've got a few of those now because I've been to a few of Stitchin Heaven's retreats. And we also got a little notebook and a pen. We got a make and take project. This isn't one of the projects we're working on the ship. We can take it home and make that at home, or you can make it here if you finish your project, but I don't think most people are because we're having so much fun talking to each other and getting off at the ports. Then they gave us this really nice water cup. It holds ice. It keeps ice cold for almost 24 hours, so, or I should say frozen. It keeps your drink cold for longer than that. Let's see what else is in here. There's also a pop-up thread catcher, or trash can if you want to call it. My name tag. And let me see what else. There's a couple more things in here. There is a pair of scissors, which are really nice. And then the quilting brochure, or the cruise brochure, I should say, for upcoming cruises. So you can check out future cruises while you're on the current one. And it's always fun to dream of what comes next, right? So just give me just a minute and I will show you guys the quilt kit. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the quilt kit. This was also in that bag. Now each cruise usually has 2 projects and you can pick either one or both. This time I just did one. Last time I did both and I wasn't able to finish both on the cruise. Although to be honest, I didn't finish one on the cruise even. Because like I said, you have so much fun visiting with everybody and going to all the excursions and the ports and all those things that we had more fun doing that, and we took the projects home and finished them, and that's okay. Excuse me, my nose is itching. But I got the Summer Breeze kit, and this one is being taught by Melissa Corey. There's 2 instructors on this ship. There's Melissa Corey and Brenda Henning. Melissa Corey is a pattern writer for Riley Blake and Moda, and Brenda Henning is known for triangulations. I know some of you out there love those products, so we got 2 great instructors on this ship. So Melissa is teaching her Summer Breeze quilt, and it's really beautiful. She's got 2 examples of it in the classroom. But what I wanted to show you guys is the kit, because the fun thing about Stitchin Heaven's sail away kits is that they come completely pre-cut. So you can literally pull this out and sit down and start sewing, which is really nice. So I wanted to share that with you. So here is some of the fabrics, and they're all labeled with what part is what part. This is the binding and the borders, and this is all Moda fabrics. So I love Moda fabrics, you guys know that, so I'm really excited to have that. And here's my pre-cut triangles. You don't have to cut any triangles. And some of the stashing pieces, the background squares, and we've got some little tiny background squares and little tiny print squares, and then our accent pieces that are going on some of these blocks. So that's the quilt kit. Like I said, it's really nice to come and have it all pre-cut. Of course, there's still some trimming along the way as you're making your blocks, but to be able to sit down and really start sewing right off the bat and not have to cut anything makes a huge difference. I will show you guys a bit of the conference center where we sew here in a little bit in another video, and then, like I said, pictures of the projects in progress, pictures of the finished quilts, and then the instructors are both going to also have a trunk show, so I will feature that as well coming up on my channel. So stay tuned if you would like to see what happens on a quilting cruise. See you guys later. Bye.
point in doing it, right?
That's right.
So that's our mantra when we're in class.
Yes.
We're gonna be happy. So if it's 1/8 of an inch off and you're happy, I'm ecstatic. Let's do a happy dance together. If it's 1/8 of an inch off and it's driving you absolutely nuts, I'm more than happy to help you get it absolutely perfect. But we also for different purposes, so.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. I know it's a little long, especially with me talking a lot at the beginning. So I'm not going to talk here very much at the end, but I hope you'll join me on a future quilting cruise with Stitchin Heaven. I'm going on the Patriot Cruise here in just a couple weeks. I knew I had a short time in between these two cruises, but it's even shorter now because I did get sick when I got back, and it's not the fault of the cruise. So I didn't get sick from the cruise. I just got sick when I got back. And so I haven't been able to make the video until now because I had bronchitis and a sinus infection, both. Double whammy. I still have a little bit of it. You might be able to hear my voice if you're a regular on my channel, but I am on the mend, which is awesome because I need to get better for the next cruise. So like I said, I'm really excited about the Patriot Cruise. I will also take some video on that. It probably won't be as long as this, and hopefully it'll be more antics with some of my friends and all that. So looking forward to that. Thank you so much to Stitchin Heaven for sponsoring me to go on this cruise. I really had a great time, and I cannot wait for everybody to see this and hopefully sign up for your future cruises and to go on the next cruise, the Patriot Cruise, with Stitchin Heaven again. So take care for now, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.